Let me post in here. And there we go. Let me post in here. There we are. Just one moment, I gotta ping everyone who could possibly be interested in this. There we go. And then here we go. Wahoo, let's go, and other such phrases. Let me post that there. Hello, Pidizzle. Welcome to the stream. Give me just a minute to finish self-promoing in all the various Discords that I'm in. You're finally early to a stream. I wouldn't say you're early. I'd say you're right on time. Welcome to the stream. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How's the music compared to my voice? I had to, in order to get the music to play properly, I had to use a different program that I'm used to, so I wasn't able to, like, test the values. I just need to be able to hear the music without it going over my voice. So please let me know. Oh, I need to ping one more spot. Where's the subjects going live? Here they are. Here we are. I think that's everywhere I need to put. Turn it down, you say? Turn it down, you say. Got it. Just a smidge, you say. Does that help? Maps! Hey, Onslaught! Welcome to the stream. Welcome, 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 welcome. How are you doing today? This is the second stream of our Paper Mario 64 adaptation. We are making a system-neutral, system-agnostic set of DM notes to allow anyone to play through the story of Paper Mario 64 with the additional locations established in other Paper Mario games and other Mario RPGs. So this was made by my good friend Lady Sophie from the Marioverse lore server. Oh, your game got canceled and you're having a bad week physically. I'm sorry to hear that, my dude. It's kinda okay. Well, I hope that sitting back and watching my white ass, because I'm very pasty on this camera, talk about Mario role-playing will ease some of your ills. Can't solve all of it, but I'll see what I can do. Ghostly Artistry, some more TTRPG Paper Mario stuff. Oh boy, this will be nice. I hope so! I hope it will be nice. I hope you enjoy. Give me just a few more minutes and we'll get started properly. Hacked Memories, welcome to the stream. Hello! Where else can I post? Where else do I post? I feel like I'm missing somewhere. Oh, you know what? There was one more Discord I just joined that I wanted to bother. Let's do... Where is it? No, hold on a minute. Live announcements. Am I allowed to post here? I think I am. And if not, then they'll just ban me and I'll call it good. Hello, Walleye. Hello, Fish. Hello, Cad. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And you know what else I wanted to post? In the Paper Mario modding Discord. They gave me permission. I posted my video last time and they seemed to like it. So, fingers crossed, we'll get some new faces in here, some new input. Welcome, everyone, to the slightly more put together second stream of the Paper Mario 64 TTRPG adaptation. As you can see, I am clean shaven. I am no longer a scruffy monster. My hair has been recently showered, despite my water pump wanting to explode. Turns out, the issue wasn't the pump itself. It was actually a... what did he call it? Not a flap, not a vent. There was a little doodad that prevented the water, once it was sucked up from the well, from just going back down into the well, and that was broken. So my pump was all hours of the day desperately trying to suck the water up so it would stay up, and eventually it would fail without fail. A check valve, that's what it is. A check valve went. Thank you, Fish. Clem's God says, how do you have that weird Al Yankovic hair fit? Very fluffy, a little dry. Bruh, I can fix that shit. It's fixed. Don't worry about it. Ghostly Artistry says, seeing that map keeps on having me think of my own Minecraft Mario project as I'm following that map. Kind of messed up stuff in layout and overcompensated on size. Yeah, no, as I mentioned earlier, this was made by Lady Sophie 17. This is a mashup map of all the areas in Paper Mario 64 and the Origami King, with labels, actually. So, like, we actually have... It's not a canon map, it's as canon as a match where these two maps are going to be. And Sophie intends on adding more content from other Mario RPGs. It's a really cool map, and I'm really cool that Sophie made it. Kind of made it for me. I didn't request it, but Sophie was like, fuck it, I'm doing this now. I'm like, oh my god, I can't believe it. Oh my god. So I am very, very blessed to have been able to use this map. Last time we met, we walked through an initial plan for a prologue, the Goomba Woods area, and then the Koopa Village area. Let me actually go ahead and pull up those notes right now. This is going to blast my face, and I'm going to be like white as a sheet. So just, yeah, there you go. Look at that. Look at that. The lighting in here is terrible. So to go like over what we're working with, we're going with a chaptered approach. We're going to take each individual section of the map and write them up as individual adventures, so that no matter what order you go in, you can experience all of the cool stuff from Paper Mario 64 and beyond. We're going to assume a sandbox style of play, so all these adventures will be dotted across the map, and if players go to those places to interact with them, that's where the adventures are. We're going to aim for a living world. You like how Shooting Star Summit is like its own time of night perpetually. I also really enjoy that. Walking from Toad Town to Shooting Star Summit in-game and watching the sky darken and the first stars start falling, it always gets me. I'm so nostalgic for it. We're going to aim for a living world, which is something we're going to actually get into tonight specifically, where regardless of whether or not your players interact with something, certain events will happen regardless of where your players are. And we're going to get into that in a second. Mario! Hello, Yim. And last but not least, we're going to not assume system. These are the 4 design aims we're working with, and this is what we worked on last week. So we started with the plot hook, which is the party at Princess Peach's, where we wrote out sort of a basic premise for how to get that original scripted story set up from the original game into a TTRPG space without taking away too much authority and agency of your players, while still allowing that to kind of happen. We called it Prologue, A Plea from the Stars, but it's more just like the Goomba Village area. We wrote down a lot of information about what was there. We worked out how we want to do character charts. We wrote out story plots A and B, which is kind of the vibe we're going to go forward. We're going to have like an A plot and a B plot, so there's more than one thing to do per area. Hello, Sophie. We're just going over what we did last week. Yes, and the timed events for that living world. When we last left off, we had started on Chapter 1, Storming Koopa Bros Fortress. We had talked about the Koopa Village, the areas around Koopa Village. We had input data from our book, and we stopped at the Bros Fortress itself. We wrote the descriptor. You got a Brazilian dub ad for the Mario movie, and Toad's voice is so high-pitched. Is it, like, proper Toad high-pitched? This is my drinking flagon, by the way. I got it for when I ran 5e. I got one for myself and my 2 players. We all got a drinking flagon for our liquid. It felt fairly a medieval fantasy at the time, so I really enjoyed it. The timed event, and that's as far as we got. So, even though it was like 3 hours long, I still feel like we got enough done. We got some stuff done. We didn't get a lot done. We didn't get a whole lot done. What we're going to focus on tonight is dungeon design. Because as I established last week, the Koopa Bros Fortress is a dungeon all by itself, right? It's a single location. You're supposed to journey through it, solve puzzles, solve traps, interact with the creatures inside, and fight a boss at the end. However, because this is going to be a TTRPG as opposed to a platforming RPG, we have to make some significant changes to how it works. There's keys to worry about, there's a whole bunch, so we'll get to that in a second. I am terrified of the Dutch dub of the Mario movie. I haven't heard the Dutch dub. I know that the French dub has a much better Mario than we got, but that's neither here nor there. And to assist us, you haven't either. That's why you're afraid. Oh no. Oh no. To assist us with visualizing how we want, so the first part is going to be dungeon design. All right. So chapter 1B, this is the story. Let's go ahead and start working on chapter 1B, dungeon, Koopa Bros Fortress. Okay. So let's start by talking about what we know of the Koopa Bros Fortress. Okay. We know that it was originally the Bob-ombs. Whoops. Bob-ombs. Why is it... Oh, I see what happened. I did one of these. Originally... belonged to the Bob-ombs, taken over by Koopa Bros. We know that the jail in basement of right tower. Let me just show you real quick. Let me just show you actually. I have a website called NoClip. Well, it's not my website, but it's a website called NoClip, which allows you to load up and render locations and areas and maps from various video games. So this here is Bob-omb Tower, or the Bob-omb Koopa Bros Fortress, rather. This is what it looks like from the angle the camera comes in. Mario comes in from this direction, and you enter through here. You have no way of accessing this water. You notice that, like, there's no texture here because the in-game camera will never go this far. There's no way to access the water even once you have the swimming ability and sushi. And if we come around the back, you'll notice that they don't bother texturing any areas that the camera will never show. So this isn't like the entire dungeon rendered at once. We have to go room by room with this. But this is the basic description. This is what the whole building looks like. It's two towers with a wall in between, and you can see these windows. We can go up this tower, we can go up this tower, and there are two levels of hallways that we can travel through between them. And how the actual dungeon works is you start down here, you go over here, you go up here to a point, then you gotta go back, and you gotta go up here, across here, and finally you're able to go across, and this is where you have the boss fight. So it's a lot of back and forth. Actually, there's also basement levels. So like the jail area is actually down here, and then over here is just a source of water. And there's a basement path down here as well. You don't really appreciate it when you're actually in the dungeon itself, but there's a lot of back and forth to be done. A lot of back and forth. Man, I wish the water here was swimmable in-game. That's actually something we're going to have to contend with, believe it or not. Oh, my controls are now slightly messed up. They're kind of like Minecraft flight controls, but not really. Okay, so this is actually an area where once you get Bombette, you can blow through this wall, and there'll be stuff here. What do you think the wall behind it is? I don't know. If I remember correctly, some Paper Mario 64 mods do add... Can you go forward, please? Add a dock here. That is very cool. That is very cool. I would love to play one of those mods. So, let me go ahead and raise my camera up. Where is my camera? Let's do... Hi, everyone. Let me show you. So I have my Paper Mario game guide, right? Let me show you the equivalent pages of this dungeon. Okay. So, it's on 2 pages, unfortunately, so I'm going to try and, like... So you enter in on the left tower. You have that lower energy, and you're not initially able to actually go up those levels until you've traveled through the dungeon a bit. You take the lower path through that dungeon, and you find there's a staircase that allows you to go up but also drop down. There's a key in the basement level which you need to go up here, and then use that key to go... There's so much back and forth. It's over and over and over again until finally you reach the roof area, right? Between the 2 towers, and you walk across it being bombarded with bullet bills, and then you fight the Koopa Bros. Oh man, the focusing is like, what are you doing? What is we doing? The back and forth is great for when you are doing a platform game with RPG elements. Not so much when you're doing a Ttrpg dungeon. So what I'm planning on doing is having each of these areas having their own room, and you have to go through all of them in order to properly, like, get to the top. But, knowing it's a Ttrpg, people are going to find out ways to do it otherwise. So let's start with... Let's do room by room, okay? Do I want to pull out paint for this? Let's be a little cursed. Do I have paint available? Yeah, sure. Let's do paint. MS Paint. MS Paint, here we are. As a matter of fact, we can actually take a nicer color. There we go. I can't hide this. It's a little less bright. No, we'll stick with white. I leave for a second and come back to mapping. Yeah, well... I don't know what to tell you. Okay. So let's grab... Hey, Clone Trash! Thank you so much for the follow. You get a jolly jangle of the cheer bell. Thank you! Thank you so much. We are currently working on mapping out the Koopa Bros Fortress from Paper Mario 64 for tabletop role-playing. So, whoops. Okay. Let me think about where I want to start. Whoops, I just knocked something over. It's probably fine. All right. So we have these 2 towers. I'm gonna be real bad at this. I don't draw for shit. All right. So we have 2 towers, like so. Thank you for the very warm welcome. Well, welcome in. I hope you enjoy my really shit doodles. Obviously, if and when I release this to the public, it will be a little better, honestly. There's also this underground section, this underground section, and then this basement section. Okay? Okay. So, first of all, in this area, we have this massive water pool, which I assume fills all the way down here. Oh, you can't see because my fucking... Can I just zoom? Oh, that doesn't really help much at all. That doesn't help much at all. Let's move this over. There we go. Now it's visible. All right. So we have this water area, okay? And we'll just... I don't know why they have this. I don't know why this is here. We will have to find some sort of use for this eventually. This is where the players come in. So the players come in, and the first thing they see is this big, massive thing of water, and also this winding platform leading up. But they can't reach it. The first thing the players are going to do is try to reach it. Actually, yeah, the first thing players are going to do is try to reach it. How the game does this is that by traveling back and forth, you can find a button somewhere that will actually raise some stairs out of the water pit, allowing people access to this upper rotating section. So let's keep that for now. There's going to be secret stairs. I promise this makes sense. Secret stairs that get raised up out in order for the players to reach. Where should that button be? Where is it in the original game? Let's see here. I don't actually know where that button is. I'm looking at this. Step 1, defeat a bomb, get a key. Defeat a bomb here. Oh, can you see my mouse? You can't see my... I'm gesturing, you can't even see my mouse. Oh my god, I am so sorry. So you fight a bomb here, which allows you access to this hallway. This hallway allows you access... Oh no, there's multiple hallways. I see. So access to this hallway. Once you're here, you fight some guys. Access to this hallway. This hallway has a whole bunch of keys that allow you access to stuff. Oh, I see. Okay. So you go this way. Here, there's a staircase that leads down. You grab a whole bunch of keys. Those keys allow you to go up this way, and then you can walk across the hallways back this way to find a button here, which allows you to raise these stairs, which then allows you to go all the way up to fight the Koopa Bros up here. So there is a lot of fucking back and forth. There's so much back and forth. As a matter of fact, there's actually a cutscene right around here. What the hell if I sent a map of the fort? No, we're doing this. We're doing this, okay? We're doing this. I swear to God. Okay, there's actually a cutscene here where once you reach this part of the tower, there's a cutscene where you can't go any further because there's no key here to get through this door, but there is a question mark block. And that question mark block is set by the Koopa Bros, which knocks you all the way down into the jail cell where you meet Bombette. And once you have Bombette, you can then go back up and complete all the different challenges that allow you to have the keys to access this door, which then allows you to continue on to this bad boy, which then allows you to raise this bad boy to get to these guys. So it's fine if it's going to be a platform RPG, which we are not. So let's look at what we have here, pick out the elements that we want to retain, and then redesign this dungeon entirely. All right, so let's go back over here. What elements do we like? Jail in the basement. What's the goal of this adaptation? Are you designing a whole system around this? No, let me show you our design elements real quick. Okay, so first of all, actually, before I show you that even, let me show you the map. So this map has been drawn for us, well, not for us, but we're profiting from it, by the lovely lady Sophie17. You can find them on Tumblr, actually. Do they have their... Yes, by @LadySophie17. You can find them on Twitter and Tumblr. This is a very detailed mashup map of all the locations between Paper Mario 64 and the Origami King, and may actually update with more stuff from like Bowser's Inside Story, so on and so forth. And what we are doing is making a sandbox campaign based around the story of Paper Mario 64, while also including locations from the Origami King that allows it to become a sandbox campaign as opposed to a point crawl. Nothing wrong with a point crawl, but we are not assuming any system. We have some design stuff all the way up here. We're gonna do a modular adventure approach, chaptered approach. We're going to assume sandbox play. We're going to aim for a living world, but we're also not going to assume any systems. So we're not doing any numbers. We're not doing any armor class or like difficulty checks. None of that. None of that. We're just going to make notes that any DM can take and like apply the system they're using to it. I've had some people immediately be like, could I use this for 5e? Probably. Most DMs do more homebrewing on their own anywho. This is just going to be a series of modules. The notes don't look great. I promise. The notes are in their early stage, so like this is just a lot of data that may not make sense to you. Eventually it's going to look great. It's going to look great. But we are specifically focusing on the Koopa Bros Fortress as a dungeon. So, what elements do we want to retain from the original dungeon? Thank you! Thank you. And what can we get rid of? Okay, so first of all, this location belonging to the Bob-ombs never really made sense to me. Like, what were they doing in this keep before the Koopa Brothers took it over? It's not very clear. There's various jail cells. There's lots of chain-based stair raising and lowering. There's a lot of doors that are locked for some reason, and that's kind of it. This location is a single... is a single wall with 2 towers. There's nothing behind it. What? Well, there's that wall, I guess, but I don't really understand. And also, I've lost control of my, Can I go down? No, it won't let me go down. Whatever. There's a single wall here, and there's 2 towers. It's surrounded by water, but it has connection to the landmass. What exactly was this for, and why were the Bob-ombs here? Walleye says, sounds like they keep very valuable prisoners or hostages in that keep, raising stairs to keep invaders from stealing their prisoners away. Yeah, but also, why? So if we go back to the main map here, we see that the keep is situated here on this large river. This is Koopa Bros Fortress. It's aiming out at the river, with the Koopa village firmly behind it. Going from Deep Mario lore, we know that... Oh, hi, Solarius! Thank you so much for the follow. Hold up. I think the Bob-ombs are just living here. You get a jolly jangle of the cheer bell. Thank you. Thank you. But what, dare I ask, was it originally for? Deep Grimdark Mario lore. We know from various canonical resources that the general direction of the Koopa Kingdom is in the northeast. We know from various canon sources that that is the general direction that Bowser comes from. Don't ask me to list the sources, please. Which also makes some sense why Koopa Village is more to the east, because it's kind of vaguely more connection to the Koopa homeland, I guess. But this keep seems to be situated on the major river that Toad Town is situated on, with the ocean, the Eastern Ocean out that away, right? So what was this keep originally for, and why did the Bob-ombs eventually move in? There's not a lot of evidence that the Bob-ombs just naturally lived here. Like there's no housing, there's no like rooms, there's no beds or anything. This was some sort of barracks that was used for housing prisoners and protecting from something coming from the ocean, but we don't know what. So it makes sense there was a jail in the basement tower. That makes sense that there are chains and weird staircases and like barracks and whatnot, but we want to be able to make it feel more lived in. So if the Bob-ombs used to live here, we're going to want to convert some of these areas. Obviously, there's still going to be jail cells. There's still going to be a dark and broody castle, but we want to have more evidence the Bob-ombs actually lived here before the Koopa Bros showed up and took over. I think having evidence of like stores in the basement, evidence of the cells being converted into rooms is important. So let's go ahead and say living quarters, signs of life, question mark. But we're also going to want to establish the Koopa Bros took over and instated themselves as the owners. So the fortifications and traps that are in the dungeon as it stands in the game are just generic castle stuff. It doesn't feel very ninja-y, and that's kind of like the Koopa Brothers' entire thing. So we're going to want to have more obvious new traps, not just like stuff that was part of the castle. The trap door that Mario does fall through, the jail cell in the rightmost tower, those were obviously part of the structure before the brothers took it over. So I want us to have more obvious traps that will prevent people from traveling to and from. And with that, a thought occurred to me. So the Koopa Bros are obviously meant to be like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. Like, we're not ignoring that, right? Like, that's obviously a thing. How did the Turtles take over the keep? What if we convert the basement? Because currently the basement level is a straight hallway. You hop over some rotating flamey blocks, get a single key that is used for a door in one of the towers, and that's the basement. What if we convert the basement into a sewer access? That would explain why the leftmost tower has a massive water well if this structure was on some level meant to be a sewage plant? Is anyone else following my logic on this? Is anyone else following this? Why is there a massive well of water? Let's see. Can I actually load games for Mario 64? Let's load the left spire. Okay. So this is the left spire, okay? And it doesn't show it. Actually, does it show it? No, it does not show it. Oh no, the stairs are already lifted up, actually. Okay, but the stairs are originally down here, and they lift up, right? This massive source of water is just here, and it goes down a ways, like not terribly far because they just have to render it. And the stairs are raised up out of that water. They're actually covered in moss. I actually really like that touch. There's water there because the fortress is directly on the river, though. But if we look at the right spire basement, which takes up the same spot as... Oh, hello? Uh-oh. It doesn't like the basement. Can it load the right spire center? Hello? No clip, my beloved? Are you okay? I think no clip is like, you're trying to stream while also doing a whole bunch of other stuff. It's not gonna work, bud. Can I reload you? What does 80% stand for? Reset zoom level. And chat is super laggy, it happens. I think I have to redo no clip. Oops. Alright. And immediately brings us back to where we left off. Now let's see if I can't load. Let's see here. Let's do the right spire center. Yeah, you see the water down there. This is an equivalent pool. However, there's no water in it because below it, down below it, does not like me loading this. Does not like me loading that at all. Well, just trust me when I say they're supposed to be mirrored. And one is bone dry. Oh. Oh. It did in fact load that. Let's pull back up the outside the fortress. There we go. That looks nice. So this area is meant to mirror the other, but it's bone dry for some reason. Why? Solaris says, I don't know much sewage plants with prison cells, although video game sewer is gonna be pretty weird, so why not? XD. No, you got a point. It's here because it's on the river. So adding the sewer thing would just make the place feel flavored to be the Cooper Brothers, as opposed to be flavored to be the bombs. Okay, never mind then. Never mind. But yes, so let's get rid of that. We want more obvious new traps. Bombs used to live here, living quarters, sign of life. I don't want the entire puzzle to be they find keys and unlock doors. But I do want lots of switches. Maybe we can have more water-based puzzles, so the flow of the water actually matters. So that when they have to travel throughout the the dungeon in order to activate levers to allow them to reach the top floor, but all of the levers require them to do water-based challenges. Make that a little more clear. So with that in mind, making it a water temple. Let's not go that far. So let's go ahead and look back here. So let's number these. Let's give it a nice purple color. That's literally what I'm describing, though. Let's do room 1, room 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and finally 8. Well, finally 9 is gonna be the boss level up here, but that's neither here nor there. Okay, so they need to raise this up to allow them access to this area so they can get to the boss battle. What if instead of raising the stairs here, let's get rid of the stairs. What if instead this is what they have to raise? The rotating bit itself. This is an empty... Doesn't the jail cell room literally have water in it? I can't load it, so I don't know. Lol. What if instead of the stairs being what they raise up to reach the rotating bit, it's the rotating bit itself, right? And in order for them to reach this level, they can try scaling it, right? But if they raise it up once, it gives them access to this room. And if they raise it up again, it gives them access to the top. So what they're trying to do is activate the water functions elsewhere to raise these chains up. This one will already be raised up as high as it can go, but it won't give them access to the upper room, unfortunately. Although if players want to, like, I don't know, get a missile to blow a hole in the floor, they can, I guess. If they want to... if they want to get... I just got this mental image of, like, a big Bowser-like character with a pipe, and he shoves him a bomb in it and goes... That's so stupid. That's exactly what something that, like, my players would try. They're like, no, just get in the pipe, and I'll blow the other end, and then we'll send you up to the ceiling, and you explode. That'll work. Fuck me. Okay. So, yeah, let's do, room 1. Leftmost tower. Mortars away! Leftmost tower, spiral, staircase, raised by chains, activated elsewhere. And let's include leftmost tower, mossy, and slick. Because the majority of the water travels through this underground grate area here. So having this place be, like, really moisture and drippy and like, no, you're not climbing this wall, guys. You can try, but you're not climbing this wall. Maybe you can get up here, but you're definitely not getting all the way. All right, so we'll say it's gross and slippy and slick and shit, okay? Room 2 in the original game was simply you fight some guys and then you move on to the next room. Looking at the room, I think the water is supposed to come in from a grate on the far side of the room. Right, so like if we look at the map, not that map, the water comes in a this way direction. Or maybe it comes in from a this way direction and is allowed out? I don't know. Maybe at one point... Don't we have to travel down in order to access this area? What if originally this was meant to be more of a dam, which is why there's a wall here and then a great access function here to allow water in or out? That would be really weird to have on a river like that, but maybe this was meant to be some sort of protective reservoir in case, I don't know, the river dries or something. What about player characters that have the option for flight for mobility? Again, we're not making this with any system in mind. That's not up to me. Was that a wall or dam in like a dry dock? Maybe? I don't know. Oops, sorry. If we come over here, you see it just renders as a wall with no real context for why it exists. You don't believe there's any significant change in elevation. Well, that's out then. And actually, no, there's like an entire little tunnel area here. I know the answer is that when they made this dungeon, they just wanted somewhere for you to fight a boss to get a star spirit. But come on. Come on. Give me context. Why do you exist? What are you? Whatever. It's fine. It's fine. Okay. So room 1, leftmost tower, mossy and slick, spiral staircase raised by chains, has to be activated elsewhere. And this is the only way for us to get to the top area. You're having the same trouble with the Hyrule Castle. Yeah. Cad says it could be like the NSMB fortresses, or like those, like where they just exist. Can you see behind the wall, though? Not in-game, With this... Hold on, where's my mouse? There it is. With the, hi. With no clip, they didn't bother texturing or rendering anything that wouldn't be shown by the in-game camera to save on space. Naturally. Hello, Sean. Welcome to the stream. The NSMB fortresses are built by Bowser, so unlikely. This would have to be some sort of Mushroom Kingdom adjacent construction. It's not old enough to be ancient, but it's definitely old enough to be old and downtrodden and the bombs moved in. Of course, there's also been debate over where or why bombs even exist or how they're created, but that's neither. We're not covering that today. We're not covering deep Mario lore during this stream. We're just trying to fill in a dungeon. So room 2 over here, it originally is just you fight some guys and leave. And that's the entirety of the room. It just exists for you to fight some people. So obviously this is where we're going to want to have the initial bombs that are working for the Koopa Bros. It looks like a fragment of a much larger wall. Well, that's an interesting take. Actually, that is kind of an interesting take. Because in order to reach it, hold on, let's see if NoClip has this for us. Let's see. Pleasant Path 5, I think, is the one we'd want. Give it a second to load. Loading, 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 loading. So this is the path that leads to it. And yeah, actually, the structures that are immediately nearby do have the same look. They're made of similar material. So maybe this fortress was once much larger, and the area that we see is all that's left of it. That would make sense. That would actually make a modicum of sense. So in that case, the original structure, or whatever it was, originally started here on this little jut out area of land and wrapped around. You think that works? Possibly. Let's go back to NoClip. How far back? So this is Pleasant Path 5. Is there evidence of any stones in Pleasant Path 4? No. No, by Pleasant Path 4, we do not see any evidence of the stone structures. There's a more recent paper bridge, or wooden bridge, but not, yeah, so of like this area. So that's possible there was some sort of dry dock going on behind here for ships or whatever? I don't know. Interesting. Interesting, interesting, interesting. Well, that doesn't really help us too much, but it is nice to know that this landmass connects to the fortress, and we have access to the other side, I guess. So let's actually write that down, okay? Let's see. Let's go remaining wall and tower of a larger structure. Current residents are bombs taken over by the Koopa Bros. Okay, I like that. There is a jail in the basement, and that explains why there's like jails and stuff. Whoever used this before when the structure was larger, this just happened to survive for whatever reason. Then what's left is a bunch of spiral staircases and a jail cell. So, Sean says, and this is a quote, "This place is pretty huge. Before the Koopa Brothers came here, this place used to be filled with bombs. I don't think the bombs built it, but they became its caretakers. Of course, they explode all the time, so you can see why there are so many cracked walls." Okay. All right. So room 2 is something of a foyer, and the only thing here is going to be a couple people to fight. So patrolling, bombs. And that's pretty much it. It's a boring room. It's a boring room. There is... Oh, Sean added more lore. It seems strange to keep so much water in the building. Do you think it's here to keep the bombs from burning the place down? Or maybe it's just for Koopas to bathe in? I mean, it's nice that it keeps the place so cool, but I'm still suspicious. Mario, let's keep moving, huh? So in room 2, and actually I need to mark that there's actually separate rooms up here. This room also has stairs that you lower. The only reason there's stairs here for lowering is because in room 3, there's a lower path and then an upper path on top of some structures, right? And in order to reach the upper path, you have to go through the lower path, manage your way up past 7 to lower this staircase, and then... yeah. I think that's how it works. There's a whole bunch of locked rooms involved in this. These notes are becoming almost illegible. Okay, so let's get rid of some of these things. Okay. I think that room 2 should be where we first encounter the mechanisms that allow you to raise and lower staircases. Okay? So let's say the patrolling the bombs. All right. There is... You think the fortress is built around water for security reasons. It's part of the architecture and the puzzle design like the water temple in Zelda. Okay. Patrolling the bombs. And we're going to say there is a sealed ceiling patch that is visibly different from the rest of the stone. Okay? Because that there's going to be a large patch of ceiling that looks visibly different, but they can't do anything with it because it's like in place. However, the puzzle is going to be that there is... Let me think. So the chains are currently holding the staircase up to seal off the ceiling. In order to give the chains the power to pull that up, that means there has to be pressure. So there needs to be a valve that allows them to release the pressure to lower the chains. So we're going to put in a a winch? I don't really know. A conspicuous valve needs to be turned to release pressure and lower staircase to room 2A. Room 2A. And what will be in room 2A? We'll worry about that in a second. So this area is going to act as our tutorial area, essentially. Right? And let's actually go ahead and erase this, because we're not gonna be using buttons for this. Then we'll do 2A. And I don't know what's gonna be up there. But we'll figure it out. So this will be the tutorial of like, oh, if we mess with the waterworks, it will allow us to traverse further into the dungeon. Of course, the players can completely avoid it if they wish. Let me see here. All right, so room 3 is where we start seeing a whole bunch of jail cells, which we're going to want to see converted. So let's do room 3, series of jail cells converted into living spaces. So I'm imagining, like, there's obviously, like, tables and chairs in a shared communal area. There's a whole bunch of these jail cells that have, like, beds and furniture and signs of life. This is where the Bob-ombs joined up, and interacted with each other. Let's say there is an open ceiling, a high voltage ceiling, and this goes for most of the length of the wall. Okay? So the challenge coming through here. What challenge should be coming through here? More Bob-ombs should be patrolling, but it should be obvious that this area has been trashed. Obviously trashed with pizza and other radical ninja gear scattered throughout. So we want to have the environmental storytelling of this belonged to someone, and now the Koopa brothers have taken it over. All right, so we're gonna have like empty pizza boxes. We're going to have various shuriken just embedded in the walls. We're going to have all the bomb stuff like pushed away or out to the side. Actually, you know what? Let's do room 2A is actually where the Koopa brothers shoved. Room 2A, hastily made storage for various knickknacks. These belong to the Bob-ombs. Okay. So room 2A will no longer be a required room for solving the puzzle. This will be more environmental storytelling of like, oh, this is where all their shit got shoved when the Koopas took over. Really make us hate the Koopa Bros before we ever meet them. Okay? Let's see here. Okay. The next room, so that's this area. Room 4 has a staircase that you have to fight all the enemies to find. You fight all the enemies, and then a button just shows up out of nowhere and allows you to lower the staircase down into the sewer level. I don't think that is helpful at all. I don't really think that's helpful by much. But if we want the final button, the final doodad that allows you to raise up room 1's staircase to be in the sewer, which I kind of do, then we need an excuse for to get the players to interact with this. We also need an excuse. Oh no, I see how the original dungeon did it. So you would go through. Can I get a mouse on screen, please? No, it disappears when I go over this. Okay, let's grab. What color do I want to use? Let's have this blue. Okay, so we start from room 4. There's staircases that lead up, and then there's a locked door here, and it's like, oh, well, I can't go any further. So you exit either one of these ways. This door leads to this area. This door leads down here. You can travel up and down, but you can't get into this pit, right? The only way to trigger the next part of the adventure is to go up here and hit this block, which then drops Mario through a trapdoor down, and from there it connects to the sewer, which allows you to activate the staircase here and get back up. And by that point, you'll have gotten everything to raise the stairs all the way up to allow you access to the roof. That is fucking... I would hate to be a DM that has to explain this puzzle to to their players. So let's actually... erase this, because this isn't correct. This is all... It sounds like a nightmare to translate. In the actual Paper Mario game, it makes sense because you are limited by the places that Mario himself can physically walk. So, like, it makes sense, like, oh, well, I can't go that way, so I might as well go a different way. So I might as well... Yeah, no. Let's see here. Before we got to this point, as a player, I would kidnap a resident and force them along as a guide. Okay, so I think that actually this should be the first trap. Room 4 should have the first trap of the dungeon. So let's do room 4, first trap of the dungeon. Okay. What sort of ninja-y trap should we put in this room? There should be a water-based puzzle that they cannot solve because the Koopa Bros have dismantled it. Oh, that's a good idea, actually. So, room... Let's skip ahead a few rooms real quick. Room 7 is the room directly above room 4. You can access it. Easy access to room 7. A true TTRPG player move. You get it. Easy access to room 7. So there just naturally is going to be stairs. Let me erase this real quick. There just naturally are going to be stairs that lead up, and they're connected by chains. So you know that you can lower the stairs if you want. But there's going to be a valve in room 7 that looks like it'll lower the stairs. It'll be the exact same puzzle as room 2. The exact same very simple puzzle as room 2. Maybe even an enemy or two in there to allow them to be like, oh, we're doing something. But the gear itself is going to be trapped in some way. How is the gear going to be trapped in some way? How do you trap an upper room by preventing them to go down? I feel like the actual winch for controlling this should in fact be hidden. Where should it be hidden? Where would it make sense for it to be hidden? Somewhere they can't access yet. Maybe down here in the jail area. We'll say the actual gear to lowering the staircase to allow them to go down, allow them to exit is here. That doesn't make any sense for the building though. In a hidden access panel to minimize work injuries. Okay, so my thought process is, instead of lowering the stairs, it raises the stairs, effectively sealing them into room 7. But there's a door right there next to room 7 that allows them to leave. Maybe it's like... Yeah, let's try this. So room 7... valve for staircase breaks when you use it, raises stairs, and seals party in. Okay? There's a hidden door somewhere, right? Which, if the players go to the tower first, they may find. But that's kind of boring, though. A hidden door? Don't forget that we have social puzzles because living walls like thwomps are a thing. That's a good point. That's a good point. Let's look back at this. We could make it a womp crushing puzzle. Let's see, we extend the room out a little bit, and we erase this. Let's say the gear breaks off and starts spewing water everywhere, which also triggers the staircase to raise and seal it off. And then over here, we'll have angry thwomp guy. He angy. Let's do sleeping womp is awoken by spray of water, panics, tries to crush party? Yes, no, maybe. But then what's the puzzle? Aside from finding the door that allows them to get out. But if the womp is coming at them, because there's like windows along the north, the east and west walls of this thing. If the womp is coming to them from the south, so like this way, and the door is in the north, wouldn't it just make sense that they just check the door? I'm trying to make an encounter here that makes sense and is also fun, and I'm realizing that putting it into this small space might not be the best idea. Let's actually leave this here for a second. Let's say that room 7 is a trap where it seals the party in, and they have to figure out how to get out. Simple as that. Maybe the door is just locked. Maybe the door is just locked, and they have to figure out... Oh, here's an idea. So the gear breaks off and activates the stairs to close, right? So they have this gear in their hand. They have this, like, rotating thing in their hand. What if the puzzle involves them figuring out the right spot to put the gear to unlock the door? Okay. So if that's the case, let's say that this path, this door through here, and this path in and out are always accessible. However, if you try to lower this staircase with this gear, it seals off the staircase by making it raise into the floor ceiling, whatever, but it also bars this door. And the puzzle is then to figure out how... Yeah, let's make a pipe room. Let's make it a pipe room. All right. With multiple leaking valves. All right. So let's make it a pipe room with multiple leaking valves. Oops, sorry, didn't mean to hit that. And the one valve that's on the wall is like, oh, this is the valve that allows us to raise and lower the staircase. It's not. It's a trap. It actually activates something else, seals you in, and then you have to figure out, and we can sort out the actual puzzle itself, but we have to figure out how to allow the water to travel to unlock the door to allow them to leave. And once they've done that, then the staircase that already existed here is revealed, allowing them access to both the sewer area, the basement, and also where the hostages are being held. So maybe the staircase was lowered not just as a trap for people coming in, but also to seal off the one of the two ways the prisoners could feasibly escape. The prisoners now only have the mossy walls of this pit to allow them to get out of the jail cell. What do you guys think? Does that sound good? Give me some feedback here, because I've been talking to myself for a good 35 minutes. Damn gotta, you so big brain. Thank you, Fish. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. You have no idea what's happening. I mean, it's simple. It's very, very simple. Okay? It's very simple. Not gonna lie, this is not my forte. It's very simple. Let me choose a different color to explain how simple it is. The party enters this first tower. Oh, hold on. Actually, can I? Okay. The party enters this first tower. They need to get to this uppermost room. Okay? They enter into this room here, where they encounter their first puzzle, which gives them access to this room up here. This room down here is the initial combat with the bombs, and up here is where you see, oh, all of the bombs' goodies, all their belongings have been shoved hastily into this room. We enter into this large open area, which had been converted into a living space for bombs by bombs, but is now a play place for the Koopa Bros with all of their junk all over the place. The Koopa Bros have taken over this fortress and pushed the bombs out, except for the ones that will actually work for them that are now patrolling. This room has a staircase leading up to room 7. Room 7 here and this room down here, 4 and 7, both have doorways that lead into this structure here. However, this structure leads nowhere, and they're trying to get to the sewer area, which will allow them to activate a mechanism to reach the roof. By activating in room 7 what they think is the mechanism to lower this staircase, giving them access to the basement, it in fact seals them in, forcing them to use the gear they have to solve a puzzle, which will open this door, which will allow them access back down to room 4, which now has an open pit allowing them to access the basement, from which they can not only activate the mechanism to raise up the stairs to reach the roof, but also locate and free the prisoners. No, I got lost around room 7 again. Okay, but you followed me until room 7, right? You followed me until room 7? You followed me until room 7. That's good. Oh, I see it. Okay, well, Cad gets it. Cad gets it. Okay, so in room 2, there is an orange. I don't understand why they have to go into the basement to get to the roof. Because this game originally was a single-player Ttrpg, and I'm trying to adapt it as Faith, from an OSHA perspective, that makes no sense. So what they're doing down in the basement, right? In order to raise up the circular staircase that allows them access to this roof access, right? They need to increase the pressure of the waterworks to make the chains that are holding this underwater raise up. So this is gonna be like where the main valve is. Kind of like how there are VIP only elevators on certain floors of fancy hotels. Sure. Please give me a link. That's hilarious. That sounds amazing. Oriana flies up on her broom. Gemini unlocks the door. End entire encounter. If the players want to do some dumb shit like scaling and skipping the entire dungeon, they can. But also, as established, This staircase is lowered to seal off this staircase, so the prisoners have only one way of getting out of their jail cell, right? Normally, they could walk from their jail cell up these stairs and out, but they can't do that. They're in a jail cell, and the only way out is now down through this massive pit. So these stairs are lowered to lock. How do the players know that there are prisoners? Is that part of the opening? No, but logically for the Koopa Bros, why this is here in the first place is for that reason. Okay. Whew. I think that makes sense. So there's no guarantee there are prisoners there. In the premise of this area, this fortress used to be home to the Bob-ombs until the Koopa Bros took it over and strong-armed the Bob-ombs into doing their bidding. The ones who refused are thrown into this pit as prisoners, and they want out. And seeing as the players are unable, well, theoretically, unable to get to the roof until they have gone into the sewers, that means that one way or another, they're going to be aware of this big hole and all the people screaming in it. They are imprisoned, yes. Okay. The sewer, the basement, is just one big... How do they scream? They have no mouths. Shut up, Tegan. The sewer, I imagine... No. You will not shut up. Got it. This is why you keep me around. It's true. It's really true, I do. I think that this area, the downstairs area, the downstaria, if you will, should be where all of the ninja traps are. And I'm thinking, what are some good ninja traps? Well, hold on. Easy room 7 and seals the party in. Pipe puzzle to open locked door. Okay. Will give access to basement 5 once room 7 is activated. All right, so now we have room 5. Jesus Christ. All right, room 5 is just a long basement hallway which will end in a massive gear turn to activate the stairs all the way back in room 1, right? And I think this is where I want to have, when you say ninja puzzles, I think of the place from the Origami King, which is literally just find the hidden ninja switch. I've never played the Origami King, so I can't talk to, like, how good its puzzles are. But it's a puzzle that wouldn't work as a TTRPG puzzle. I agree. I agree. Let me think. I'm thinking real hard. You can't see it, but my thoughts are going abuzz. So ninja traps are like hidden panels in the floor. They're like the traditional tropey ninja powers are like hiding themselves like a sheet against a wall. So hidden panels, maybe like pressure sensitive traps that like throw kunai at you, but they're also like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So maybe something like having a half pipe down there. No, that's probably a bit too much. You can see it. You can see it. Yeah. But how would that connect back to the water pressure thing? Because this is going to be the final... Section 5 is going to be the final water puzzle. Room 2 was you turn the gear, and it happens. Room 7 is you turn the gear, it locks you in, you then have to determine where the gear is supposed to go. So room 5 should also be another method of turning the water, but... maybe it's like a broken pipe yard, where to prevent anyone from getting up to the top, the pipes that connect... Okay, hold on. Brain blast, okay? So room 7, the puzzle is... Oh, I did not mean to hit that. Howdy, Mokuniable, welcome to the stream. So room 7, I promise this makes sense to me, at least. The room 7 puzzle is all the pipes are in place, and you're trying to figure out where the gear needs to release the pressure to allow it all to travel. So we take that and we flip it around. The gear is in the right place, and it's holding back the water, but the pipes are in the wrong place. So instead of having locate where the gear goes, we're gonna have like a pipe yard of broken pipes just all over the place, with various pipe connections. You got to figure out which one the water comes from and which one the water goes into. Activating the gear here will turn the water on, and it'll spew out at whoever, like wherever it comes from, and you have to then connect the pipes in order to make it do the go-go. And if you do it right, then that will move water pressure elsewhere in the fortress, which will then raise up this, and Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt, and that's the dungeon. Yeah. I had the thought, I spoke the thought, and I invited you all here to witness me doing the thought. But that's a pretty good thought, I think. Like, you know? That's a pretty good thought, I think. Because not only is it's 3 puzzles, each one builds upon the last one, while also giving context. So the first puzzle is, you turn the gear, something happens. Okay. Second puzzle, you turn the gear, oh, water pressure is what makes it happen. Final puzzle, you know that the gear makes the water pressure happen, and you gotta get the water pressure to go somewhere to do something. And, like, it logically advances the idea, instead of just dropping you in, like, there's pipes in a gear, and then you solve the dungeon, I guess. No, like, you actually have to walk through it. The only purpose of this tower, then, is to naturally lead the players, when they leave room 7, back to room 4, so they can see that messing in room 7 caused a change in the dungeon. And also to see the giant pit, I guess. Once they reach floor 8, the final fight with the Koopa Bros is very simple. They have a whole bunch of bullet bills here, right? This is my quick rendition of a bullet bill. And it's just, they just start shooting at you. If you still want ninja traps, you could have a few ninjas around. I think I want to lean less into, now that I've like come up with this 3-part water puzzle. Oh, this is from Mario Odyssey. I was like, is this from Mega Man X? What? No, the music is from Mario Odyssey. It's the Honeyloon escape sequence from the end of the game. We should play that on stream sometime, actually. Mario Odyssey is a really good game. But no, rooms 8 and 9 are very simple. You just dodge a bunch of bullet bills coming at you. Am I keeping Bowser? Do I have an image of Bowser? Not a very good one. Let me... Let me do, let's see. Mario Wiki, Koopa Bros. Let me show you what the Koopa Bros... So here's the Koopa Bros. As you can tell, they are obviously the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, right? But they fight you... Does it not show Bowser? Hold on a minute. Main characters, bosses... Oh, Bowser, question mark, question mark, question mark. Here we go. So, initially, when you get to room 9, they have made a giant, like, craft version. It's like a Trojan horse version that they operate from the inside. And they fight you with it until you break it, and then they fight you on their own. So yes, I'm definitely keeping Paper Bowser. I'm thinking, what's a way that we could take the concept of the water fortress, the water stuff, right? And apply it to paper, or the Bowser question mark, question mark, question mark. So let's write this down first. Room 5 is Broken Pipe Room. Access to jail cells. Connect pipes and activate main... gear to raise stairs in room 1. And then room 6 is the rightmost tower, stairs leading up to room 7, pit leading down to jail cells. Okay, so that's most everything. Let's see. Roof 8, Bullet Bill Barrage leads to room 9. And then room 9 is the boss room. Simple as that. Okay, let me save this real quick. I swear to God this makes sense. Let's call it Koopa Bros Dungeon. There we go. I look like a raving madman next to this. I look like an actual, like, Pepe Silva board. Like, it's all connected. It's all connected. It all makes sense. But I swear to God, this does on some level make sense. Holy shit. Ugh. I see the vision, I think. You think. So... before I release this to the public, I will have an actual artist draw this out as a one-page dungeon, with better graphics to describe how it all works. What's a color I haven't used yet? Pink. So, the plan is, you go here, then you go up here, through here, up here, down here, quick over here, and go all the way back to go up to here. And that's the whole dungeon. That's the whole dungeon. Okay. Now, as for the actual boss stats. Alright. Let's do... did we end up doing characters on... no, we didn't. Okay, let's actually go back to the Koopa Bros. Can I go back to normal zoom, please? Okay. So they are named by their colors. So we have red, black, yellow, and green. Alright. So, according to this, the leader of the Koopa brothers, Red Ninja Koopa, has authority over his siblings and seems to come up with their plans. Okay, so he's the leader. Black is the possible second in command, and the one seen apart from his brothers most often. Yellow's the one who has a trap set, and green is the one who takes defensive precautions. Okay, so in that case, let's do a character chart. Let's do format, insert, where is it? Oh, insert, we want a table. Oh, no, table has its own thing. Hi, Peb. Can you not mess with my stuff, please? Hi. Yes, hi, kitty. Can you not just, okay. Bye. Be that way. Damn cat. Alright, so let's insert a table. We're going to want at least 2 columns, 3 rows. Alright, so let's do Red Ninja Koopa, Black Ninja Koopa, Yellow Ninja Koopa, and Green Ninja Koopa. Okay, so we know that Red is the leader, calls the shots, makes the plans. Black is the second in command. He's seen away from the others more frequently, so we're gonna say he's more of a loner, and we'll have him be the heavy hitter. So the others will act in conjunction with each other, whereas Black will primarily be a loner. If you get rid of Red, then Yellow and Green will not be as effective. Yellow is going to be the sneakier, trappy ninja, whereas Green is going to have more defensive. So, all right. If Red is defeated early, Yellow and Green. Are you doing anything with the toad disguises? Oh, that's interesting. I don't think so. Maybe that could be... Hold on. Let's... Let's do this. Let's do Hook. The toad disguises were there to block Mario from going to Chapter 1. Yes. In the initial game, that your path leading to Koopa Village is blocked by a bunch of toads, which are the Koopa Bros in disguise. So let's say the hook is that to prevent the party, I almost said Mario, from leaving Toad Town, the Ninja Koopas disguise themselves as toads and barricade the path to the fortress. And this should not be that size font. Let's drop it down. Okay, let's say we'll put hooks there. If the players don't end up going to the Koopa Brothers Fortress or don't know where to go, we can say, okay, DM, this can happen to like give them an idea that like something's happening down this way. Deku wee hee hee, sup gata, the nut has arrived. Welcome, Deku Nut. Welcome to the stream. So let's actually go all the way down here and say that Ninja Koopa, Yellow Ninja Koopa, Yellow knows disguise no jutsu, question mark, allowing him to change his appearance. We'll say that Yellow's the one that knows the jutsu. What if we give them all jutsus? Right? let's give them all an individual jutsu. All right. So green is more defensive, harder to damage. Let's say stone shell no jutsu. If alone, well, let's not do that. Let's say he raises the defensive capabilities. How about, let's see, boss room. Originally pilots Bowser mech will activate one jutsu per round as ninjas. So you come in and you fight their water pressure powered Bowser mech. And when you defeat it, they're like, fuck, it's not going to work anymore. Okay, everyone, it's time to use our ninja powers. And then one by one, each round, they'll activate a different jutsu replacing the previous one. This is me making shit up, but it also will contextualize their team attack, which is the tower. Let's say are less effective. On Red's round, we'll use Koopa Tower no jutsu, combining them for a team spin attack. Okay, so this obviously will have to be converted into whatever system the DM uses, and I'm taking some artistic liberties to make the fight a little more interesting. So we'll say that Red Ninja Koopa is the one that triggers the team special, where they all pile on top of each other and do a super spin attack to just blast through whatever. All right. Black Ninja Koopa, second in command, heavy hitter. What will his jutsu be? Let's get rid of the heavy hitter, actually, because we already have the defensive, harder to damage, stone, steel, no jutsu. So yellow changes their look to make them into something else for a turn. Green Ninja Koopa make them defensive, so even if you hit them, it won't hit them so much. Let's do Smoke Bomb, where it makes them disappear for a round. Does that make sense? This might be a bit much. Let's do the Bowser mech. A paper mache Bowser piloted by the Koopa Bros uses pneumatic pressure to punch. So the punching mechanism will obviously be using the same kind of technology the rest of the fortress use for its water pressure. So it has like, and then bam, like that, to tie it into the theme of the entire dungeon. Then the Ninja Koopas are easily broken out of it. They do round by round using their jutsu. As you defeat them, it fucks up their other stuff, and eventually you beat them all and you get the Star Spirit back. Okay. This, again, looks like the ramblings of a madman. And I've taken some artistic liberties, but looking at it as a whole, I think this would be a fun dungeon. Not just to run, but to play through. Obviously, there's a lot of spots where it could be broken very easily. But... should something be written up about Bombette? I agree. We should do a character thing on Bombette. And let's go back to look at Bombette's character description in the book, because this is another one of the partner-able characters in the game. That one gif of the guy writing on a whiteboard while yeah, literally a Pepe Silva board. Okay. The official description in this book, in this game guide for Bombette is, if you're facing a wall with nowhere to go, Bombette may be able to help you find your path. The helpful Bomb can blow open walls and rocks that already show some signs of stress or fracture. She has an explosive fighting style and can damage any enemy on the ground. That gives us nothing about her character. That gives us literally nothing about her character. Let's see if we can't find... Where is Bombette listed? No, they are not. Let's type her in Mario Wiki and see. Okay. Bombette is one of Mario's partners that appears in Paper Mario and the third-party member encountered in the game. She's pink, so like a Bob-omb buddy, with a ponytail-shaped fuse and a white heart-shaped turn knob with no holes. Let's see. She first appears... Upon meeting her, she demonstrates an eagerness to get back at the Koopa Bros for capturing her. The first line makes me think she can do something when... Character? What character? Well... Let's see. Mario rescued me, so I figured the least I could do was help him even the score with Bowser, King of the Koopas. Bob-omb buddies are also red. Let's see here. Bombette had broken up with another Bob-omb named Bruce. He constantly looks for a chance to get back together with her, only met with constant and comical refusal each time. Try to remember that Paper Mario 64 partners' personalities other than Goombario, Bo, and Lackluster Challenge. Impossible. No, listen. She's named Bombette. That pink's adorable. She does seem to be pretty strong-willed. At least in Book of Mario, we know she works at the Office of Management and Budget. I don't know what that reference is. Oh god, Super Mario-kun gave her a very interesting design. Jesus Christ, Super Mario-kun. Let's see here. Bombette is the only party member from Paper Mario to not appear in the game arc present in Paper Mario-kun. However, in the last 3 chapters of Volume 26, a special and shorter version of the events Paper Mario are told. They're captured the Koopa Brothers and beat by the cell. She's a friendly Bob-omb. Kicks her, freeing them. Not having a relevant... But Bombette then accompanies them, not having a relevant role for the rest of the chapter. Huh. Bombette was featured in a 2015 press release made by Nintendo for Women's History Month, which highlighted some of the company's female characters. I guess she was a girl. And that's all she has. That's all she's got. Okay. So we're going to have to do some interesting footwork to give her a character. So let's... Oh, Book of Mario is a mod of the Thousand Year Door where all the text has been put through Google Translate a dozen times. Go back to the descriptions. It calls her hot-headed. So let's see Bombette. Willful, hot-headed, don't need no man, wants revenge against Koopa Bros. The chat delay is real bad. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry, guys. I can't really do anything about that. You're just gonna have to admit that, like, you're a good 20 seconds behind me. Sorry. So don't worry. If you scream at me, no, stop, do something else, then you know that I've already done that. Don't need no man. Wants revenge against Koopa Brothers. Starts the rebellion. That is true. Initiates the rebellion. Okay. So, the bombs were living peacefully in this fort until the Koopa Bros came in and strong-armed some of them to work for them, and tossed the rest into jail. She's pissed about this, which I think leads to the whole bomb-on battlefield conflict. Right. So, for those of you who don't know, everyone, this is Sean. Sean is one of the main minds behind the Marioverse Discord server, and there's no easy way to say this. Marioverse has a very specific idea of what Mario lore is, and despite release schedule, the official timeline that Marioverse works off of puts some games after others in their release schedule. Hi, Sean. So one of the interesting things, you know what? Can I actually... I had it saved in my phone, but I don't have it saved. Can I do this without doxing myself? Let's see here. Because release order makes no sense. That is correct. Okay, I'm gonna move this over here real quick. I want to show you guys the official Marioverse timeline. I'm not going to go through like all of the actual stipulations that Marioverse uses to determine canonicity of things, but for the average Mario fan who only plays the occasional game and knows of Mario as a brand, it's all Pepe Silva bullshit. It sounds ridiculous. But the vetting process is very, 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 let's see here. Hi, Raggles! Thank you so much for the raid. 4 people. Hey, welcome, welcome. You get a jolly jangle of the cheer bell. Thank you! Thank you, thank you. Where do I find... You were watching a movie in Discord. Amazing, amazing. I think it's Lore Library. Can I scroll up and find that timeline real quick, like? Here it is. Here it is. Open original. I'm gonna open it in Microsoft Edge. Will that allow me to see it? Oh, and we're being coconut malt at the exact same time. Okay. So this, as you can see it slowly loading in, is the entire Marioverse timeline. Woo! Sean D. Walsh's Super Mario Timeline with graphics by Lady Sophie. These are very good, actually. As you can see, it lists all of the games with the rationale as to which game is where in the timeline, right? If we continue... Just continue going, just continue going, just continue going. What we want to look at specifically is Paper Mario and the games in and around it. Buckle up, we're not going to go through all of it. But you see we have Mario's Tennis, we have Mario Kart, we have Donkey Kong Country, we have Mario Bros. 2, Donkey Kong Land, we have BS Super Mario USA, which is different from Mario 2. We have Mario vs. Donkey Kong. We have Helmet. We have Yoshi. We have the first 2 Mario parties. We have the first 2 Mario lands. Wrecking Crew 98. NES Open Tournament. Wario Land. Mario the Juggler. Mario's P-Cross. Wario World. Wario Land 2. We have all of this shit. Mario Party 3, and then we have Paper Mario with Mario 64, or more like it, Mario 64 DS taking place after Paper Mario. So much lore. So here's the rationale, okay? Waluigi destroys Luigi's home and moves into what was once Luigi's Island, okay? This means Luigi is forced to move back in with Mario. An extension is built onto Mario's house. Mario's house is seen in Dr. Mario 64. Mario's house has a new design, placing this game after Super Mario RPG and Wrecking Crew 98, where you see a previous design for Mario's house. Okay, so we see Mario's house in Dr. Mario 64. In Mario Party 3, Luigi's house is destroyed by Waluigi, which then explains why in Paper Mario, not only is there Mario's house has the same appearance as in Dr. Mario 64, but there's an addition onto the back of it that is green, which makes sense if you recognize that Luigi's house was destroyed in Mario Party 3, which is why it's here. Okay. What is the rationale? Yeah, it's continuity. It's continuity based. Okay. Mario meets the Star Spirits for the first time. How can I didn't make this. I didn't fucking make this. This is all the Marioverse Discord and Sean writing it all out. Sean, I'm gonna say this in the nicest way possible, okay? Mario lore is like Sean's autistic hyperfixation. The amount of focus this one individual has on this massive franchise, he is a walking dictionary at all times. At all times, okay? ADHD superpowers. Yeah, whatever, Sean, I don't wanna like actually like diagnose you, but whatever mental stuff you've got going on, you don't have autism. Well, whatever mental stuff you got going on, you are uniquely attuned to this hobby in particular. I don't have autism, that's been diagnosed. And I don't say that as an insult. Like, I'm autistic. Like, I get it. I understand how this stuff can make your brain go brrr. It's very good. The lore, the keeper of the lore. The keeper of the lore. So one of the things about Marioverse is that if a game is remade, the new game has precedence over lore from the old game, okay? In Super Mario 64 DS, okay, Goomboss reappears, okay? Goomboss is the Goomba fight, the first boss battle we have in Paper Mario, and they reuse that design. It's not just about Marioverse. Most every franchise works like that. We'll get it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't start now, please. So we know that Goomboss gains his Goomboss form by being powered up by Bowser in Paper Mario. So Mario 64 DS, which takes precedence over the original Mario 64, has to take place in the timeline after Paper Mario. But also interesting, and this is something I mentioned in a different Discord, is that King Boo captures Luigi in this game and is later defeated by Mario, serving as the motive for his revenge in Luigi's Mansion. He also doesn't seem to know Luigi's name at this point in time, which means that during the events of Paper Mario, King Boo and Luigi don't know each other yet. They won't meet until Super Mario 64 DS, which starts off their rivalry. The start of Luigi and Bowser? It's fine. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. No, please, no. Listen, I ship it, but I respect those who don't. King Boo, that's an unhealthy relationship. That's a very unhealthy relationship right there. No, thank you. I'm all set with that. Why? Let's see. For our purposes, not much else really needs to happen, except, since Superstar Saga hasn't happened yet, the Beanstar hasn't been activated. Since Mario and Luigi, let's see, Mario and Luigi. Okay, so Mario and Luigi Partners in Time hasn't happened, which means that EGAD doesn't know Luigi, doesn't have time travel. Time travel is not a thing during this span of time. Anything after Partners in Time, there's at least one person in the Mario world who has successfully made time travel. So that's suddenly an option, okay? Let's see, what else do we have here? Bowser Jr. is not born yet. Bowser Jr. is born at some point before Mario Sunshine, but after Paper Mario. Paper Mario is where Bowser gets his hands on the Star Rod. Sean's personal headcanon is that while he has the Star Rod, he uses it to give himself a son, because he makes a wish baby. My personal feelings that at some point after Paper Mario, Bowser finally makes an unselfish wish, and the Star Spirits are like, you know what? Sure. For the first time in your goddamn life, you had a thought that wasn't about you. You're like, I want to raise a child. Because Bowser's a pretty good dad, all things considered. Actually, where is... Hold on. Where does Mario Party 5 come in? Where does Mario Party 5 come in? Mario Party 5 is here. And this is where the Star Spirits ask you to help them with the Dream Gate. Where does Okay, no, this happens long after Sunshine, so that wouldn't work. My thought process was that after the events of Mario Party 5, once the Dream Gate is sorted, because I don't think Bowser is directly antagonistic in Mario Party 5, does it? Nothing listed here specifically about that. Alright, well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't fucking matter. It's a bunch of deep lore that has nothing to do with us. He does try to destroy all good dreams in Mario Party 5. Never mind. I haven't played Mario Party 5. Alright. Nope. But yeah. So that's the lore. That's a bunch of lore. Let me, Did we end up posting this somewhere? Sean, is it on your, you have a Tumblr, right? Let me just move this over here so I don't blast your Tumblr. Or blast the wrong person. Are you cool with me sharing this post? Or sharing your Tumblr with all of your other Mario lore posts with my my Discord community? You can say no. If he says no, don't Google it, guys. Be nice. Why did we go down that rabbit hole again? I've completely forgotten why I went down that rabbit hole. I've actually genuinely forgotten. What were we working on? Bomb. Oh! That's right. That's right. The Bomb-on Battlefield conflict. Because something had to happen. Yes, thank you. Something had to happen to trigger the Bomb-on Battlefield conflict to make it a battlefield for the events of Mario 64 DS. So the implication then would be that this rebellion is what eventually starts the fight in Bomb-on Battlefield. Would that imply that Bomb-on Battlefield might be physically close to Koopa Bros Fortress? There's no reason why it couldn't be. We see it in Peach's Castle Golf Course. And if we assume Peach's Castle Golf Course is where the Toad Town Castle is, that means it'd have to be within spitting distance. So maybe this blank space up here? Sophie and I will talk about it later. Don't worry about it. Sophie and I will talk about it later. We have so many blank spaces to put stuff in that finding any sort of canonical evidence that something is somewhere is just great. Just great. Even if this isn't currently Bomb-on Battlefield, having the Bomb-on Battlefield in this area will be interesting for people to walk through. Describing it and having one player be like, oh, this is where Bomb-on Battlefield's going to be. Hi, Brisket. Hi. Do you want to say hello to everyone, Brisky? Where's my camera? Oh, God. Can you focus on me? Please? Alright, close enough. Brisky boy. Hey, come here. Come over here. I want to say hello to you. He's like, no, I don't want to. I want to sit. I want to sit where I am, Dad. Here's my Brisky boy. And he has his little bandana on. Oh, hey, buddy. Yeah, I love you, too. You want to look at the camera? You want to look at the camera? Mwah. Yes? No? He's not. His tail is flicking. He says, no. Dad, I am mad at you now. Okay. I'll put you down. You can go back to your little spot. I love you. Oh, don't start a fight because you're mad at me. Wolfie's just sitting there. You're fine, big baby. Can we get the fucking donate link? If you would like to donate to me, I would not say no to it. Any money that I'm raising right now will go towards buying new TTRPG books. In the new year, I plan on doing a lot of reviews of TTRPG stuff. So yeah, he is a beautiful boy. Oh, he's coming back? Oh, he didn't want to sit on my lap. He just wanted to avoid me. He's a good boy. It's itch, like ITCHIO. Thank you, Jen. But yes, in the new year, I plan on doing a lot of more TTRPG book reviews. I have a number of modules that I've already purchased that I'm like really excited about. The most recent book that I purchased was called Neverland. And it is a 5th edition based adaptation of the Peter Pan mythos, but with a whole bunch of holes filled out. And it's the whole island of Neverland, with all sorts of crazy creatures and a whole bunch of like original lore that takes place long after the books end. So you actually get to meet Wendy and John and Michael, but they've all aged because they've come to Neverland, and they did not choose to never grow up. Well, one of them chose to never grow up, but that's not a problem. And it's a very beautiful book, and I'm really interested in like getting a camera on it and like telling you why I think it's cool. So if you donate money, you can help me gain more books so I have more content to make in the new year. Yeah, it's pretty much all I got. Eventually, this project will be free for the world to have. I'm not trying to profit off Mario's IP. That's a very quick way to get Nintendo's lawyers on my ass. This donation is completely unrelated to what we're doing tonight. But yeah. So, let us go back to the notes. Let's go back to the notes. Baumet, Willful, hot-headed, don't need no man, wants revenge against Koopa Brothers, initiates the rebellion. Why would she join the... Let's give it a name. Let's call it the Bob-omb Rebellion. Okay? So if you free the Bob-ombs and you fight the Koopa Bros and you get the Star Spirits, the Bob-omb Rebellion is going to be a faction within the Mushroom World. Once their captors are taken care of, the Bob-omb Rebellion will be a little more active maybe in the world, so you can interact with them, and you will have this boon already if you need their help later. I think that's useful. I think that's interesting. All right, and with all of that out of the way, I think we've actually completed. It took us what, 2 hours? It took us 2 hours for me to walk us through each of these steps, write out the notes. If this were for a game that I were playing like tonight, 2 hours to whack this out, and boom, that's an entire adventure just by itself. To say nothing of the fact that first, you have to journey there. You gotta journey all the way there. You gotta figure out how to get in. You gotta know it's there in the first place. Like, all the encounters you could have along the way, this could be this entire journey, even if you avoid the Koopa Village, could end up being like a two-night campaign part. 2-night game. A 2-shot, rather. That's the proper word for it. Just going along Pleasant Path and finding yourself at the fortress, then traveling through the fortress to get the Star Spirit. That's a whole thing right there. And if you make friends with the Bob-omb Rebellion, you have a little outpost you can go and visit and rest at while you're in your travels. Who knows? All right. So, that's taken care of. So we have Goomba Village and Forest. We have the start of Toad Town. I'll have to worry about that later. We have Pleasant Path, Koopa Village, and Koopa Fortress. So this area is taken care of. What do I want to move on to next? Let's actually do Forever Forest and Boo's Mansion. Well, let's just do Forever Forest. We've already been going for 2 hours. I want to go for one more. Let's just get started on Forever Forest. Okay? This is something that I thought about before streaming. Let's go down. Chapter 2 is actually the Mystery of Dry Dry Ruins. Chapter 3 is the Invincible Tubba Blubba. So let's actually change this to chapter... no, we'll leave that one. We'll leave that one. Oh. Oh my god. $50? Merry Christmas, you filthy... Thank you so much, Fish. That's so much money. Thank you so much. You get a jolly jangle of the cheer bell. Thank you. Oh my god, you didn't have to do that, but thank you so much. That's so generous of you. Well, now I have to give you a list of books I want to buy so you can pick out what ones you want me to review, like I did with Tegan. Hot damn, I can get a number of stuff with that. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much. You're gonna make your Hyrule Castle now. You're feeling so inspired. Well, thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Tadizzle said something. Let me scroll back up. Wasn't here last stream, but will Southern Toad Town be off limits at the beginning of the game like in the original or nah? That's something that we actually talked about last stream. And the short answer is we are unable to gate off parts of the world using the same limitations as the game. When the game put a tree in your path, Mario physically could not jump over it to move past it, right? In a TTRPG, that's not a thing. You can just move the tree. In the coded game, moving the tree is not an option. So the thought process that I had was, how do I limit what's available in Toad Town without it being arbitrary? And the answer that I came up with had to do with a Toad Town prologue, with the Peach's Castle party. So if we scroll all the way back up, okay? All the way back up. So the initial plot hook, the scripted plot hook, is a party at Princess Peach's, okay? And there's going to be a whole bunch of players, a whole bunch of characters there to interact with, to talk to. The idea is that there is going to be an attack on the castle as the castle is raised from the ground, and the party's job is to save as many partygoers as possible. They won't be able to save everyone. So it's a race to escape. The players will escape. Who you rescue will change what resources are available to fix Toad Town. Okay? So in the earthquake, Toad Town's shit is going to be fucked up, right? Trees are going to fall. The ground is going to crack. The train line is going to be damaged. And depending on what NPCs you are able to extricate from the castle before time is up will determine who's available to help. Right? And this will have to be trolled face. Eventually, everything will be available, right? Like the residents of Toad Town will work together to fix up stuff, but like if you don't save the right NPC, the Shroom Grocery might not be available. If you don't save the right NPC, they might not have anyone with the ability to fix the train line to Dry Desert, so on and so forth. And I haven't figured out what we're going to attach to who. That's for later. That's for the second draft run. But that's the design for the initial plot hook, determining who they're able to save in the time they have will determine how their game starts. Because, like, similar to the actual game, Toad Town is the center of everything. They can travel from Koopa Village up to the Vellumentu Temple. They can try to find a way across to Goomba Village, but the easiest and quickest way to get anywhere is to just go back to Toad Town and travel from there. Toad Town is the center of all of this. It's the path of least resistance. So giving them everything in Toad Town from the very beginning, they won't really have much reason to leave except to go directly to where the Star Spirits are and come back. So if Toad Town has that vibe of it's fixing itself up over time as the players leave and return, it makes them feel like they're doing something in the world, right? Like if they go to Koopa Village and then the Koopa Fortress, get the Star Spirit and leave, they'll have no real reason to come back unless they want to. So there's not a lot of like, once they solve the problems in these areas, there's not a lot of more forward momentum. But if Toad Town is consistently evolving and fixing itself and coming back to life as you save these Star Spirits, as time passes, it'll give the players a feeling of what we're doing in this world matters. And that's really important for a sandbox campaign. Like really, really important. So, Chapter 3 is going to be Gusty Gulch, and the mansion of Ttrpg. So we're going to make a new chapter for Forever Forest and Boo's Mansion. Like I mentioned last stream, one of the issues that I have is the overlap in dungeon design between Forever Forest and the Whispering Woods. The Whispering Woods is also a forest in which you get lost and are unable to properly navigate through. These two areas being close to each other means we don't want to create dungeons or dungeon areas that are identical, right? Because then, whichever one the players go to first, they'll be like, oh no, we're lost in a forest. And they go to the next one and go, oh no, we're lost in a forest. We've seen that before, right? So we want them to be unique. With Forever Forest specifically, I want to make the forest itself be a dungeon, where they have to clear the forest to be able to navigate it properly to get to Boo's Mansion and then to leave, okay? Let me take a drink of water real quick, because I'm realizing that I'm talking so much and not drinking any water, and I'm actually feeling dehydrated, so give me a second. TTRPGs and game design is my autistic hyperfixation, and I can and will just go for hours about this. Okay, we're good. We're good. Previously, okay, so we have talked about how there is a YouTuber who I follow, a channel called Dungeon Craft. Professor Dungeon Master is an older gentleman. He's been playing since the 80s. He actually wrote articles for Dragon Magazine back when Dragon Magazine was still actively being published. So he has a lot of experience with D&D and game design and TTRPGs of that era. He's still very much an old school gamer. He plays D&D in a homebrewed way that matches his like Conan the Barbarian style tastes. And one of the things that he's brought up a couple of times is how when you're designing an experience, you don't necessarily need your players to actually experience it. How do I word this in a way that makes more sense? The game feel of feeling like something is happening is more important than actually one-to-one recreating that experience. So in this case, we're talking about getting lost. Forever Forest is a haunted mansion where if you take the wrong path, you somehow find yourself back at the entrance again, right? You somehow find yourself back at the entrance. It breaks logic. It doesn't matter what path you take. There's only one correct path, and the others will boot you back out where you started. All right? In a map-based TTRPG system, you would, or even in Paper Mario, actually, you would have to go through multiple circular rooms, pick a path, and then realize, I'm still in the forest, this is the right path to go, and follow that pattern. In a TTRPG, that's not going to be fun. So what we want, Sophie says, and this is on delay for Sophie, so I'll give it its time. I think an important distinction between Forever Forest and Whispering Woods is that Forever Forest is a permanent maze, while Whispering Woods is basically a temporary locked room. That is also very important. You don't actually get lost in Whispering Woods, you just can't leave. That is true. In Whispering Woods, the trees themselves are conspiring against you to not allow you to leave until you do something for them. In Forever Forest, fucking you over and not letting you enter is the point. Not letting you get to Boo's Mansion is the point. It wants you out. So, when creating a dungeon where you want the vibe of being lost without having your players be like, okay, we have a map, we plot this way, well, that's wrong, we'll go a different way, well, no, that's wrong, we'll go a different way. That very quickly leads your players to being frustrated if they can't find the right path, especially if they're running low on resources. That's a dungeon delve. We're not doing a dungeon delve. We're trying to make them feel as though they're lost. We can't have them hit too many roadblocks. So what Professor Dungeon Master does in one of his videos is actually what I have used to run a dungeon I call Beware the Bufflewump, where instead of having a logical connection between different rooms, you make the players be in on the joke, right? You tell the players, in this dungeon, you are going to be hopelessly lost. In fact, you're going to be so hopelessly lost that every time you try to go somewhere else, I'm going to have you roll to determine where you end up. And no amount of backtracking will allow you to actually, figure your way around. Let me pull up the actual map of Forever Forest. Okay. Let me pull up the map of Forever Forest. Alright. So here's the fucking map of Forever Forest, okay? There are there's the entrance at the bottom, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's 9 rooms. There's 9 individual rooms. And some of them have different ways out you can go. Some of them have only a straight path. And if you ever take a wrong one, you're booted out back at the beginning. Okay? So similar to the premise of Beware the Bufflewump and the previous dungeon, we want to keep what is interesting and make sure the vibe of being lost is there. So I'm going to make this dungeon similar to Beware the Bufflewump, in which it is heavily implied the players know that they are going to get lost and they're part of the fun. In order to find their way to Boo's mansion, they have to accomplish something in the Forever Forest that will allow them to traverse to Boo's mansion. So it's not a matter of... It's similar to how I did the last dungeon of Kuba Fortress, where to reach the end goal, they had to trigger something in the dungeon. There is something they have to accomplish in Forever Forest that will let the forest allow them to find Boo's mansion. And it's going to be random where they go until then. Okay? So let's real quick look at what is in Forever Forest that makes it interesting. Let's pull up our notes. And let's go all the way down to chapter 3. Alright, we're just going to call this chapter Ghost. Let's call it Forever Forest. Forever Forest. I'll renumber those later. Alright, let's read what the book says on the facts of Forever Forest. If you walk into Forever Forest without a plan, chances are that you will get lost here in a hurry. With that, haven't I been here before feeling. Get the scoop from Goombario on your surroundings, then listen carefully to the strange forest creature that visits you early in your quest. The creature will tell you to look for special signs before you choose your path. Okay, so in the forest, the path... Okay, so here's the forest vibes. Alright, there are red glowing eyes in the darkness. Okay? There are giggling flowers that haunt you. There is faces on the trees that cackle. Okay? Let's see here. There are mushrooms that shine when you touch them. Okay? There are violets that recede into the darkness. And there are also a bunch of wooden gates leading to and from paths. Okay. So this is the content, so these are the things that you have to look for to find the right path in the actual game. We want to include those, but not have them be the obvious. We don't want an obvious, you go this way. No. We want to have separate rooms. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 main rooms. Let's drop that down to 6. Let's have 6 rooms. Let's have 5 rooms. Okay? So there are 5 distinct rooms in this dungeon. Rolling a 1 leads you back to the entrance to start again. Okay? So every time your players want to leave an area to try and find another area, they roll a d6 and they go to the room that they land on. It's completely random. It makes the players feel as though they're the ones who are getting themselves lost. Rolling a 1, you'll end up back at the entrance. So we need 5 rooms, and we need something to happen in these 5 rooms that makes it worth experimenting all of them. One of the things that happens in this forest is there is in fact a forest hermit. The forest hermit is the one who tells you how the forest works and gives you a hint of where to go. So maybe the forest hermit is the one who you need to appease in order to leave, right? So let's say, we'll just say room 2 is the forest hermit's lair, okay? The forest hermit is there. He's a guy covered in leaves, all right? And he's gonna want something. Maybe he's gonna want a couple of somethings. And you have to go through the forest in order to get them, in order to have him tell you where Boo's mansion is. But what would the forest hermit want? Probably to remove stuff from his forest. It's like, hey, there's shit in the forest, and I would really love it if you took care of that for me. Let's see here. There should be an encounter list in this book here somewhere. Letter delivery. Hold on. Let me see what's actually in the Forever Forest. Let's see here. Forever Forest has forest fuzzies and piranha plants. That's not a lot. Forest fuzzies and piranha plants. I mean, the forest fuzzies would probably be a problem. The piranha plants are probably native. But there's also a bubble in there. So let's say room 3 is Bulb's Mound. There's a Bulb in Forever Forest in this game that will give you a magic seed. So you interact with the Bulb, you interact with the forest hermit. There's room 4, room 5, and room 6. So let's say room 4 is going to be a piranha plant patch. His name is Oakley, by the way. I didn't know that. Oakley. The forest hermit's lair. Or is the bulb's name Oakley? I could be wrong. A piranha plant patch. We'll say room 5 is just a fuzzy encounter. It isn't even like the same room. It's just you find. This is Oakley. He lives in Forever Forest. He guards the entry to Forever Forest to prevent wanderers from getting lost. He helps any townsfolk who get lost inside. That beard. For some reason, I feel like yanking it. Okay, so Oakley isn't keeping us out. It's more like he's like, hey, don't go around the forest. You're gonna get lost. Go back that way. But if you can convince him that you need to get to the Boo's mansion, he'll be like, okay, follow me. So how do we do that? How about adding other ghost types? Possibly. What other ghosts? Let me see. What in Paper Mario 64 do we have for other ghost enemies? Obviously, I will expand the enemies. Peepas would be neat. What are peepas? Let's get to Mario Wiki. Peepas. Is it just Peepa? The Paper Mario Ghost Trans Girl. No, Oh, okay. Okay. That's kind of cute. Use the search bar. No, never. Let's see here. Yeah, they got the little teeth stuff going on. Oh, they're adorable. And they go in predetermined paths, right? Official colored example of page 6 of Nure selection Paper Mario. Oh, I like that. That's really cute. That's really cute. I'm not going to make a decision right now, but definitely I'm going to put down the remaining room as another encounter. Question mark? So the idea is that rolling a 5 or a 6, you encounter one of the enemies in the forest. The thing with Vivian here is where would she fit? There's no placement for her. Vivian and her sisters are all spawn of the Shadow Queen, who was sealed away in Rogueport, which is somewhere way, way northwest, a completely different continent, based on the Marioverse map, the tentative location of Rogueport. There would be no reason for the 3 sirens to be in the Mushroom Kingdom, and as... You're just being transphobic. No! Fuck off! Just joking. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, guys. No, I don't think including her in this would be... Actually, this is a conversation that I have actually had with another Mario Discord about, like, based on the Marioverse timeline, what named Mario NPCs or characters would be in the area for this project. Like... Oh, excuse you. That's mine. Thank you, little shit. You want to come over here and say hello? Earn your keep? Come on. Come on, Meatloaf. Come on. Get within arm's reach so I can pick you up, little shit. He's coming. He's coming. Everyone say hello to Meatweef. Come here, little fucker. Here he is. Everyone say hello to Meatloaf. What did you eat? You ate something. You're licking your lips like you swallowed something you shouldn't have. Little fucker. Where do you think you're going? Off to more adventure? Alright, bye. I was gonna curl into a little ball right next to me. That's cute. The music coming on right now makes me think you should include the Mushroom Village NPCs. Fungus, Porto, etc. I am definitely planning on expanding the Mushroom NPCs available based on location. Obviously, like Tasty, Rusty, all of the named Toads in Toad Town proper are going to be available. Any unnamed Toad shopkeep from the Origami King, I intend on giving a mushroom name, a fun name, and fleshing them out just a little bit. But I haven't done a lot of research on the Origami King specifically, so I don't know what is needed. I just know that not a lot of generic Toad NPCs have personality, and I want to retain that from Paper Mario 64. I miss that about Paper Mario. All right, so Piranha typo? So I did. So 1 leads to an entrance. 2, Oakley Forest Hermit's Lair. The Bubbled Mound. Let's say... Okay, so let's say that the thing Oakley wants is in the Piranha Plant Patch. Okay? I was talking about the ones from Mario Party, for those of you in chat who aren't aware. Yeah, I'm definitely planning on going through Mushroom NPCs and, like, plopping them around. I want to say that, like, the goal, the way to solve the dungeon is to speak to Oakley and then retrieve something from Piranha Plant Patch. Okay? So, when you initially start, you have a 2 in 6 chance of rolling to find out what you need to do. What if they get room 2 first by sheer chance? I think that's fine. I think that's actually absolutely fine. Meatloaf, please. He's batting around something he shouldn't be. Whatever. In my experience, a 6-sided die has an equal chance of landing on any given die. Room 2 and 4 are the ones that, like, stuff will happen. Room 3 is going to be a red herring, and the other 2 are encounters, and 1, you're back at the entrance. So having a 2 in 6 chance, a 1 in 3 chance of finding the story-appropriate room is more than enough. Even if they find room 2 first, that's fine. That's fine. Maybe, let's see, how about this? If by the second room they do not encounter Oakley, Oakley appears and helps them leave. So there'll be 2 hooks. Either they stumble upon Oakley, or Oakley finds them and shuffles them out, like, no, 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 you shouldn't be here. Which will then give them the plot hook to be like, let's see, find Oakley. Oakley needs, we'll just say it's something from under the piranha plant patch. If you retrieve it and bring it to his lair, he will lead you to Boo Mansion. But let's say, let's put a little extra thing in here. Oakley only refers to them as them darn plants, leading to perhaps mistaken identity with Bulb. If the players are unaware, that if the players haven't bumped into the piranha plant patch yet, and they run into the Bulb bound first, they may attempt to, like, acquire whatever it is from Bulb who doesn't have it. Maybe even the players are like, hey, we're here to get Oakley's thing. And Bulb is like, well, I have this magic seed. Here you go. And gives them the seed. And then they go through the forest trying to find Oakley. And they finally find Oakley. And they're like, here's the magic seed you wanted. And Oakley's like, what on earth are you talking about? I wanted you to clear out the piranha plant. Briefly forgot Twitch is owned by Amazon. An ad reminded you, didn't it? An ad reminded you, didn't it? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, no. Yeah. I'm sorry. See, here's the thing, right, Sean? Here's the thing, right? I actually have ads disabled. I don't have ads enabled on my channel. Any ads you see, not a penny of it goes to me. Not even a fraction of a penny. If I activated ads, I don't know if the fuzzy encounter should be random because they're pests and could be unpredictable. I don't know. Gringe. Yeah, no. If I were to activate ads to make any money off of them, it would double the amount of ads you see. And fuck Bezos. Just fuck him. I hate him. Fuck him. Piss off. Especially now that it's Christmas time. Like, fuck off. Like, if, like, I have some control if I turn ads on, right? I can press a button and roll ads for 30 seconds, and then it will not air any ads for the next hour, right? But that doesn't count for the Amazon ads. It doesn't stop all ads. It just stops the ads that I earn money for from showing up for that hour, which is bullshit. It's such bullshit. But whatever, late stage capitalism, what can you do about it? With the fuzzy encounter, I don't want the fuzzies to be in a specific room, I want them to feel like they're all throughout the forest, right? But you're correct that having 2 encounter options is a little iffy. Because let me point out here. So this is not a combat room. The entrance is not a combat room. Bulb could be a combat room depending on how bad they do their relationship with Bulb. Piranha Plant, Fuzzy, and the other encounter are. So that's 50% of them could potentially lead to combat. Should I lower that? Let's make it 25. Because Piranha Plant Patch is going to be just a writhing patch of piranha plants. They have to get to something in the center for Oakley. The Fuzzy encounter is meant to be a random... No, you know what? I'm going to leave it like this. I think I'm going to leave it like this. And I'll try to find another enemy specifically. Or maybe how about this? Let's do a normal encounter. And this one will be a special encounter. All right? On the normal encounter, you could have more than 6 rooms and just have the DM pick any 6 rooms. So, oddball lore throw-in may or may not be useful. Hit me, Sean. Hit me. Let me see what you got. The normal encounter would be stuff like Fuzzies, Piranha Plants, and Peepas. Piranha Patch is the name. Oh? Piranha Patch. Where piranha plants can disguise themselves as other flowers. Hold on, it's loading. Okay. So in this game, they're trying to collect flowers, but some of them are actually piranha plants in disguise that want to eat them. That's interesting. That's a very interesting take. Players try to... Okay, a single flower bud blooms into a pink flower. The camera then zooms out to show the entire field. Players try to earn points by collecting flowers while avoiding piranha plants. Buds appear before they become flowers. Piranha plants... Oh, hitting a piranha plants causes the competitor to lose a point. Interesting. And this is the perspective mode version. That's an interesting little bit. So let's disguise as regular flowers, possibly. There are also piranha creepers that sleep or move rhythmically. So what I think I want is a normal encounter is just regular stuff. Special encounter will have a recursive roll that will bring you back to the normal encounter, or be stuff like treasure or something. I don't know. I'll figure it out. So mathematically speaking, it's slightly more than a 1 in 6 chance, but it's not 50%. Whereas room 4 is for sure going to be where the piranha plant patch is. Ooh. That's a good point, Sophie. Sleeping and need to yoink something from the center. So like Kuzco in the leopard, the Jaguar's den in Emperor's New Groove. It's also a good point to get the piranha plant lullaby in there, actually. And then it's only a combat if they fuck it up. Okay. Okay, I like that. It needs to be fleshed out a little bit, but I think this chapter, more or less, has everything we need to run it. Because the individual rooms are not meant to be, well, aside from Oakley's lair, the individual rooms are not meant to be like recurring locations. Like, you're not going to walk back and go, oh, this is the same spot we fought that fuzzy. No, it's just you. Oh, hey, Sheila. Welcome to the stream. Hey, Gata. I'm rolling in from helping run a festival all weekend. How's life going? Life's going pretty darn good. We're currently adapting Paper Mario 64 into a TTRPG notes, and we're working on Forever Forest. Now, we actually just finished Forever Forest, actually. I need to flesh this out a bit more with more enemy types, but that's for the second pass. You've missed, this is the second one. You can watch the VOD for the first one if you're interested on YouTube or here on Twitch. And this will be live on YouTube probably a couple hours after we finish streaming for those who want to watch it on YouTube. And of course, the final product will be available for the public at some nebulous point in the future. Okay. So I think, aside from Boo's Mansion, that's everything in Forever Forest. And Boo's Mansion itself is something that I'm thinking about, because it entirely depends on the premise, right? One of the time-sensitive events in this game is that at some point, Junior Troopa is fought here. I'll worry about Junior Troopa later. At some point during the game, during Chapter 2, during Chapters 1 and 2, okay? So, fighting Goomboss, fighting the Koopa Brothers, going through Gusty Gulch, Dry Desert. One of the Star Spirits escapes from, not Gusty Gulch. Is it Gusty Gulch? No, it's not Gusty Gulch. Hold on. What's the mountain called? You travel through the mountain. Mount Rugged. Doi. You travel through Mount Rugged and Dry Desert. During that time period, the Star Spirit that is being held by Tubba Blubba escapes and is captured by the Boos in Forever Forest, right? However, in a TTRPG, there's nothing stopping you from going to Forever Forest first. So there's going to be two scenarios, right? The first is where the Boos have no reason to mess with you. They just want to scare you. The second is where they need your help. During the events of the first couple of chapters, Tubba Blubba has been empowered by Bowser and starts eating the ghosts of Gusty Gulch. During which Skolar escapes and gets all the way to Forever Forest before the Boos kidnap Skolar and use him as leverage to get Mario to fight Tubba Blubba to help them. At an earlier point in the adventure, Tubba Blubba would only have just started eating ghosts. They wouldn't have a reason to reach out to the party for assistance yet. They'd still be trying to sort it out on their own. So we have two premises. One, where they want to scare you for the sake of scaring you, so they do. And the other, where they actively need your help and they're testing you to determine whether or not you're useful to them. So I don't really know exactly how to coincide, to put those two concepts together. So the short of all that is I'm not working on the mansion tonight. I still need some more time to brainstorm. I spent a lot of time just listening to music and just thinking about the game. Most of my thoughts for Forever Forest, I made them up on the fly, but I went through a whole bunch of different design possibilities. Wow, chat really is far fucking behind. Holy shit. A lot of the design possibilities I think about just like at work while I'm not like streaming or anything, and I just kind of blow it onto the paper when I actually start streaming. So let's... What can we do next? Oh, you're just letting... Oh, I thought that was actually a delay. Oh my god, I'm so glad it wasn't. Let's talk about... Let's do something quick. Currently reading the Mario timeline, and wow, there's information I wasn't aware of, like Donkey Kong Sr. kidnapped Peach in one event. I didn't actually know that either. Sean has a whole write-up that's more extensive than that graphic, but I love the graphic. I have it on my phone, I just scroll it randomly sometimes. Let's do an easy spot, because I want to stop this a little after 8 o'clock, and it's 7:45 right now. Shooting Star Summit and Mer Lovely's place. Now, Shooting Star Summit, I believe we have decided, is not the same location as Star Hill. But Star Hill, correct me if I'm wrong, lore nerds, should still be somewhere around here, right? Like, I'm not entirely crazy that Star Hill should be like, because Star Hill is the same location as is the one in Mario and Luigi Partners in Time. It's actually down south. Well, fuck me, I guess. Jesus Christ. Southwest? But is it... Okay, but in Partners in Time, isn't there a path from Toad Town, from the castle, leading to Star Hill? The Star Hill and SMRPG and Partners in Time is the same one, right? The Partners in Time map is Garbo. God damn it. God damn it. See, okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and share with you guys a little behind the scenes stuff. You reach it via time hole. Okay, so there's no actual map to it. Got it. Didn't we have a theory about Star Hill? No, the theory we had was that Star Hill in Partners in Time is approached from a different direction than SMRPG, but they are meant to be the same location. They're the same one. Got it. Okay. So I had a whole weekend of going down a rabbit hole trying to make connections, because Mario Verse's current stance is that Yoshi's Island and Dinosaur Land is connected to Cascade Kingdom, which is one of the locations you go to in Mario Odyssey, okay? And Mushroom Kingdom is on the east coast of the Mushroom Continent, and Cascade Kingdom is a landmass far to the northeast of the Mushroom Continent, okay? However, in Super Mario RPG, Yoster Island, which is meant to be the Yoshi's Island, is shown to be in the south. So my thought process, which has been jossed from various canon sources, was that if Princess Peach's castle is here, and Koopa Kingdom is somewhere up there, then by rotating the SMRPG map would mean that Seaside Town is up here, that Monstro Town is over here, somewhere near Koopa Kingdom, that Marymore is somewhere north of Toad Town, right? Like, it would, if by triangulating the location of Yoshi's Island and all that other stuff, we can rotate the SMRPG map to have all of SMRPG happen in the northeast of the Mushroom Continent, which would then have it be connecting to Toad City, which is a Mario Kart 8 location. I think, especially in the context of a TTRPG, it's better to fuse together all the Star Hill related areas. Yes, but also, while I could definitely do that, Sophie made this map with the intent of it being a logical one, not a pure canon one, obviously, but to start from a place of canon and work with it. Yeah. I like having excuses for the decisions that I make, you know? Toad City? What? Fucking don't mess with the camera, cat. Toad City might be moving as of Mario Golf Super Rush, actually? Hee hee. Hee hee. Tenandeo! Fucking hell. Jesus Christ. Well, alright. Fair due. Fair due. Oh no. The good news is that if all of the Mario RPG locations are down to the south, that means that we fill in some space between... Will you stop fucking with the... Brisket, please. You're very cute, but please stop messing with the camera tripod. Thank you. Sean, don't move it, please, no! No, it's fun. You can move it if you want. If there's more canon lore that suggests it somewhere else, then yeah, of course, move it. But no, the good news is that if SMRPG's locations are more to the south, that actually fills in some space between Toad Town and the Bean Bean Kingdom. And I do not intend to get to the Bean Bean Kingdom this month or anytime soon, but if I continue this beyond Mario RPG, having a map and notes for running in the Bean Bean Kingdom is like, oh, I love Superstar Saga so much. I love it so much. I remember one time I had finished a map with a Diamond City track from Arcade GP. Then I left to take a shower and came back to Marioverse discussing if the game was non-canon. I'm sorry, Sophie. I shouldn't laugh. But no, like, it's a massive franchise and it's constantly having new content added to it. So how we view the Mario world changes with every single game. I do think that Star Hill down south should connect to Stardust Fields, which is the Bean Bean border. This, yeah, Stardust Fields, yeah. That would be a really cool connection. I would really like that, actually. Personally, I would really like that. But no, all that out of the way, let's take notes on Shooting Star Summit real quick. Let's actually pull up Mario Wiki. Let's do Shooting Star Summit. Still have more information than this fucking game will. Okay, so Shooting Star Summit is... Oh, it's renamed in the English version. Stop fighting! Oh, quit it! Damn cats. Okay, hold on a minute. So, are they all called the same thing? They're called Falling Star Hill, which is rendered as the Stardust Hill in one of the guides. Oh, they use different kanji. But in both Mario RPG and Paper Mario, they're called Hoshi no Furu Oka, or Falling Star Hill, whereas in Mario and Luigi Partners in Time, it's called Suta no Oka, or Star Hill. Ooh. Ooh. So that imply... Oh dear. Oh dear. So that implies that actually the Mario RPG Hill and the Luigi's Partner in Time Hill are not the same location. And that... Ooh. Well, we're not going to talk about that right now. I'll figure out how to sort that out. To be fair, says Sean, about to yell at me for lore-based stuff. Star Hill is... To be fair, go to Toad Town's page. Okay. Let's do Peach's Castle. Toad Town. Does Toad Town have multiple different names as well? Let's scroll all the way down. Okay. Woo! Okay. Okay, true. So we have Mushroom Castle, Mushroom Castle Town, the Toadstool Town, or the Tone of Toadstool, Mushroom Town, like the pronunciation of town, so Kinoko Town instead of Kinokujo, Kinokujo Hiroba, the Mushroom Castle Square, Peachyjo, and another Kinopio Town. So it's not Mushroom Town, now it's Toad Town. Jesus Christ. They keep changing the name. Alright, fair due. I know for a fact that I'm pronouncing those wrong, and I'm so sorry. Tegan's gonna watch this back and be like, Gata, what is wrong with you? I do not know Japanese. Alright. But yes, let's go to read what Star Hill says. The name of a mystical hill in the Mario franchise. While its appearance has changed each appearance so far, it is usually lauded for its beautiful romantic view. Mario was even advised by a Toad to take his there on a date. Star Hill is literally seen as the place where wishes come true. Let's see here. It is where the star spirits appear, using the last of their power to create a projection. This place feels strange and mysterious, doesn't it? If we go east from here, we'll eventually get to Shooting Star Summit. This is Shooting Star Summit. Stars are really, shooting. People say that this place, like no other, reaches up and embraces the sky. And then this is the house of an amazingly gorgeous woman, the fortune teller Merlovely. Merlot, who collects star species, also lives here. This house pulses with psychic power. Can you feel it? It feels weird. It feels like I'm floating on some kind of spiritual cushion. In-game map description, they say this summit is the closest place to Star Haven. Alright, let's copy that, actually. So let's go up to Toad Town. Toad Town. And let's do a subsection, Star Summit. They say the summit is closest to Star Haven. It's really funny because Star Hill is like the shortest hill around. Alright, so it's a hill. Why am I using a different font? A hill next to Toad Town has mystical connection with Star Spirits and Star Haven. Let's see here. Ambient star magic in the area always feels like it's night. Let's see here. There's also Merlovely and Merlot. Oh, I gotta figure out what the fuck I'm doing with star pieces. I gotta figure out what I'm doing with star pieces. Huh. You know what? It's almost 8 o'clock. I am flagging, so I think we're gonna stop it here. I think I've ranted enough about lore that I feel like I've accomplished my goal for the evening. Thank you guys very much for watching. We'll be doing another one of these later this week. Tomorrow, if I can get home from work soon enough, we'll be playing some more Super Mario RPG. We are fighting the Axum Rangers, and then we are heading towards Bowser's Castle. Next week, Friday, I will probably not be able to stream again. Also, on Sunday, I have a family event to get to. So my plan is next Saturday to stream more of this, and then the following Monday do more Super Mario RPG, and the next weekend is fucking Christmas. So we'll go from there. If I stream at all during this week, like a weekday, it'll be more Mario RPG. I want to get Mario RPG done before January, so I have more space to work on this some more, but also do other gaming stuff. Fucking Christmas. God damn it. God damn it. Let's go bother Mischief of Mice. We're gonna raid Mischief of Mice. They are playing a Vault Hunter mod pack. Let's see here. /raid Mischief of Mice. We're gonna go raid them. They are playing Minecraft mod pack. Until next time, have a good night, everyone. Thank you for joining me, and goodbye. Goodbye, everybody. So long. Goodbye. All right.